Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. My name is Eileen and this is Jane Nicole Designs. Today this is my segment on Craft Around the Clock. So if you are new to my page, go ahead and hit that follow, and if you would be so kind, let's see, get my light here, to sprinkle out this video, that would help me grow my community and welcome in. Let me know where you're watching from. And today we are doing something I have done for the first time today. So I have a friend that we have been doing some crafty goodness with. I have a booth down at Reclaimed Cottage and Vintage Market. Her name is Becky Moore and she owns it. Hey Tracy, good to see you, sister. And she comes up with the most wonderful ideas, and I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a steal on her idea of what we're doing today. But just know I will tag her and the store in the description. You can look at all the crafty goodness and vintage furniture that is revamped, and look at all the beautiful decor. So when you're coming in, go ahead and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from, and we will get started. So I had a little bee in my bonnet, and I wanted to do something with flowers today. You know me, I like to do a little painting as well, so we're going to incorporate those into our project today. But I want to show you what we are going to use as the featured ingredient, and sorry it's backwards, but we are going to be using Plaster of Paris. Hey Nancy, come on in, sister, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from and how your day is. So Plaster of Paris is what we're going to be using, and some water, and I will talk about the ratios. If you want to know my supply list, go ahead and put supplies in the comment and ask away the questions. I will go back and read different things. So hey Rosie, how are you, sister? Okay, so first we got to get the flower started. We're going to use this frame. I just wanted to keep it here so I didn't forget where it was at, but Plaster of Paris is a great medium if you have, like, I have these old, like, some of them are cute, some of them are not so cute. I pick up all my, I would say 90% of my flowers from the thrift stores that I frequent. And so we are going to be using just odds and ends that I found. Here's a little rose. And when you do Plaster of Paris with water, that's what we're going to be using. I like to use, I found that using things that are disposable is perfect, because when the plaster hardens, it's hard to get out. So I made sure I wore a little apron and things like that. I'm going to use disposable things, and what you want to use is you just want to use cold water. That's what I found. I watched a bunch of them, and I'm kind of giving you like 10 different tutorials into one, so please forgive me. I didn't want to tag just one person because I thought, nope, there's like 4, 5, 6 different places that I went. So what you want to do, it is a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 meaning 2 parts plaster to 1 part water, and I'm going to use this as my water cup, and I have in here a little cup for my plaster. And depending on how many, hey Cindy, hi Mandy, how many flowers you want to do, you're just going to have to play it by ear. Some people say, oh, you know, a 1/4 cup and then 1/2 cup of plaster, but just kind of eyeball it. You want it to be the consistency, I've heard of, like yogurt and pancake batter, but a little bit more than pancake batter. Oh, awesome. How is Texas? Oh, it is wet. I have sunshine. I'm looking out my window. Today I have sunshine. It's crazy. The other day we had hail. So in the springtime up in Idaho, it is, I don't know. It could be anything. So, okay. So right now I have about that much in my cup here. I'm just going to put it in. I'm going to do a little bit more because I have a few flowers that I want to do to show you guys a few of the different ways and how to do this. But in the comments, let me know. Hey, Joy. Good. Thanks for sprinkling. How many of you guys have done this before? How many of you guys have taken plaster and just coated it on any florals? You can do leaves. You can do any type of flowers. I have found that the flowers, I'm going to say, right, we're going to work with right about there. the flowers that I have seen online, the shorter the leaves or petals, the better off it is. So, hey Zoomies, how are you? Hey Tracy, how is Idaho? Yes, it is the most beautiful state, I believe. But, you know, I'm a little biased. We moved here 5 years ago from Washington, and although Washington is very beautiful, so is Idaho. So I'm going to put this in here. First I put my water in, and you notice I'm just kind of letting it sit for a second. I want this to actually sink to the bottom, because if you just went really quick and just started spinning away, it would clump up a little bit. So I'm just kind of letting it fall, letting those clumps kind of separate. And then here is my magic tool. This is an old whisk that I got at one of the thrift stores, and I'm going to use this to mix. But just look at that. Do you see that there is the plaster, and then there's a little bit of like water on the top? I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is kind of how the consistency of what you want to do. Now, the more plaster you put in, the thicker it will be. And depending on how much plaster you want to put on your flowers and greenery, that's what's going to be the difference maker. So here we go. It's a little, do you see that? It's got a little, there's a little jiggle in it. And I found that when you load it up and make it super thick, it just sticks on the flowers and it's going to take forever to dry. So I actually let mine dry for about 2.5 hours today. I was praying and hoping that it would dry in time, and they are pretty well done. So there we go. We don't have a lot of time, because when this sets up in not too long of a time. So I'm going to take some of these flowers here. We're just going to pull. I do want to keep some of these stems here. Look at this. I'm okay with that. I want some of the florals that are, I guess you'd say the best to use is ones that look the most real and substantial. So that is my suggestion. And the biggest thing here, I'm trying to reach over here. Do get some gloves on. Because I only have 45 minutes, I don't have time to wash my hands in between. But if you are so inclined and you have some gloves, I would recommend using gloves. So let me know how your guys' week is going. It's already Wednesday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I have some family coming into town this weekend. I'm super excited. So, okay, we're going to take this, and I just kind of hold it like a 45-degree angle. And first of all, I'm just going to kind of test it to see if I like the coverage. I'm just going to kind of swing it back and forth. And here it is. I like it with a little bit more heavy, but you can do whatever you would like. And then I'm going to take it and just kind of move my finger around and move that plaster and water into, look at that, into the flower. I can dip it back in again. It's just up to you. This is one of those where I would take an afternoon and some Plaster of Paris and water and just have a crafty goodness hour or two. There we go. So just like that. Now, just to let you know, this one was pretty dark. So the dye that is in the flowers, see that there? It might peek through a little bit, and I am okay with that. So I'm gonna kind of shake it just to make sure that all the plaster and water is down into the flower. Just like that. You can start moving things around, and I kid you not, once you are done with this, resist. Resist the urge to poke and see if it is dry. Hey Shauna, hi Rocky. And then I'm going to take it, and these are just little ribbon spools that I had. I'm going to just set it just like that. And we are just going to let this dry. So isn't that super easy? I was like, okay, as long as you get that consistency of the plaster to your liking, if you want it a little bit heavier, you can. If you want it lighter, go ahead and add a little bit more water. But do do make sure you have cold water when you do this. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? I might even just leave a few of those little green little parts just peeking out. And then if you want to, and this is what I recommend, I just have on my chair here, I just have a piece of tin foil, and I'm just gonna set it down and let it dry there. So just a little caveat, when you put a flower down, if you don't have it on your little, if you don't have it on a little stand or spool or anything, when you put it down and it's all got the plaster on it, if it sits like this, see that there's a little bit of a dent there, it's gonna stay like that. And actually, hey Shauna, how are you, sister? The reason I like doing that is just setting it like that is because when I'm going to use it and I want to put some hot glue on it, then there's a surface that's flat. So if you want to make sure that you don't have any of those surfaces, that you maybe you're using it standing straight up, then go ahead. You can either set it on its side or set it right up on the spool. Ooh, look at this one. Woohoo, super beautiful. Or they also said to recommend just to set it like this so that the top, it just drips down a little bit. Here we go. And then I'm just gonna go ahead, move some things around. These will take a bit to dry, and so I did do a few of them ahead of time. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay this just flat down. There we go. Okay, now let's do let's do some leaves. So this is a rose leaf. Hi Nancy. I know some of you guys are coming in back in and forth, and I'm wondering if that's just connection wise, but let me know. All right, and this one here, I'm actually just going to take my fingers and just start going on each side. Depending on how you want to use this, if you put roses and you want to stand them up in a vase, so you do need to get both sides. Hey Linda, how are you? Come on in and say hello. And if you guys are watching from a page, go ahead and put your name so I know who you are. I know sometimes it's hard. Mine's Jane Nicole, but my name is Eileen. So sometimes I get, hi Jane, and I'm like, yep, that's okay. I did it to myself. Okay, this, let's see. I'm just looking at some of my pieces here. I have one that I was looking at. I wanted to try this one. Look at this. This is beautiful. Can't wait to try this. Okay, so it is a little tall, so I'm going to use my fingers and just kind of dab. If you wanted to, you could use a flat, I say more flat kind of surface, maybe even a big wide bowl if you want to. But I don't want this one, I don't think I want it to get fully white. I do want a little bit of that green to come through. But look at that, isn't that beautiful? It almost looks like pussy willows or something like that. There we go. And so I have also heard of one coat is great. Two, if you're gonna do a second coat, take a little brush, a little pin brush, and after it is dried, and go ahead and repaint on some of this if you have a piece that you really want to have white. But isn't that gorgeous? I am super excited. You know, wedding season is here, and wouldn't that be beautiful? Hey, from Canada. Hi, Bev. How are you? Thank you for sprinkling, you guys. Okay, so this one might be a little difficult. I have not done the ones with the big, large petals. But let's see. We're going to just do a little swirl, swirl. Dunk, dunk. See what happens. And if I have not said before, the lighter the color of the flowers, the easier as far as you'll just be able to dab a little bit here and there. Oh, this one's really cool. The darker flowers, the dyes might seep into the, you know, the coloring. You might get some, well, I will show you in just a second. I have one of the really dark ones. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I cannot wait till that one dries. Woo, can't wait to see what that one's doing. Okay, so this one here, I'm gonna let it fall a little bit. There we go. I'll push that down. You also can stack these. I don't know if you guys have these, but you can stack them. Let's do 3 high. There we go. So then it doesn't go down farther than I want it to. But isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love it. Super fun. Thank you, Becky, so much for all your great ideas. Okay, so I'm going to do one more flower here. This one's a really dark brown color. I want to show you that one because I did do one of those, and I want to show you the before and the after. But look at how it's taking the color of the flower, and the ink in the dye there, it's starting to take almost that old grungy kind of look. So man, maybe you guys, I was thinking about coloring this plaster, but then I wanted to make sure that I have several different colors, so I didn't. But let me know, have you guys, hey Gloria, thank you for hanging out. You haven't seen this. I know, I hadn't seen it done either. I looked on YouTube and it's like 4 years old, so it's one of those. Everybody's kind of got to get their own timing, and that is okay. That is okay. All right, and the last one I'm going to do, this is the good old rose. That's what everybody was like, okay, this is the best way how to do this. Roses are the most forgiving, I guess you would say. And like I said, we only have about 10 minutes. I would count on 10 minutes before it starts to really set up. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. Oh, that's going to be pretty. I might even do a second dip on that one. But now I just have them laying here. I do have a, let's see, let me look here. I'm gonna show you this one because this is really pretty. This is plastic, and although plastic does it does chip a little bit, I would say probably the least amount of touching the plastic until it firmly dries. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that fun? I was like, woohoo, okay. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put those off to the side. They are going to sit. I will, so I don't blow a fuse, I will turn on my heater later. Okay, so now, here we go. This is all the crafty goodness, right? We're going to put that just in the garbage. And I always have baby wipes on hand. How about say, give me a thumbs up if you don't have children that are small, but you use baby wipes, I would say, on a daily basis. That is our house. Okay. Do you guys want to see a peek? Give me a thumbs up if you guys want to peek and see what the flowers look like, or should we wait for a little bit? Hey, Christine. I know. What? 4 more sleeps and we get to see each other. I'm super excited. It's a glorious day. Okay, I've got some thumbs up going on. You guys want to see? Give me a thumbs up if you guys want to see. Yep, okay, all right, there's enough. Okay, all right, here we go. This is the before, right? And this is the after. Look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that super cool? Okay, all right, I'll show you the other one. This one was pink. Look at, and it's stiff. It's not completely dry yet. I would say I would leave them overnight before you start going crafting with them. Okay, here's the green one. This one is a little bit, I put a little bit more on this side because I wasn't really sure where I'm going to end up doing that. Hi, Sue. I know, show us please. I know, Shauna. I'm one of those. I can't wait, right? Okay, and this is some lavender. This one's really fun. And then I was going to show you, this one here is a piece of lavender. And do you see where I laid it down on its side and it has those little pieces? You can actually just pop those off. They break pretty easily. So if you have some of the plaster that's around the outside and you don't want it, just go ahead and back and forth and you can take those little parts off. Let me show you this one here. This is a plastic one. And like I say, there is some of that green that is showing, but I'm okay with that. I can put something on top of it. And then I just laid it down like that. So you can do it opaque as you want. You can do as little as you like. I was going to show you these. These are just little pearls that are on wire. I thought I would incorporate those, and look at, I just dipped them in there, let them go, and the parts that you can see, look at the little pearl that kind of peeks out. So super fun. I challenge you guys just to go and find, you know, whatever's in your craft stash, and then just start going. So Plaster Paris 2-to-1 with water. Isn't that super easy? Okay, so now we're gonna make a little bit, we gotta have a project, right? I just didn't want to do flowers and that's it. So I went to the thrift store. This is a 8x10 frame. I just had a little, these are these little clips here. So I took them off all except for 2 because I want to do part of the project with you guys. And then when you have a project like this and you don't know where this frame has been and if it's dusty and dirty, you guys know me, I am a Dixie Belle rep and retailer, so I always clean it with White Lightning. White Lightning is a helper that you put on wood. I put it in a spray bottle, mix it together. The recipe is on the side, all the instructions. I love that about Dixie Belle. They let you know what to do right on the thing, and I just sprayed that down, and then I took some water and then took off the White Lightning, because you don't want to paint chalk paint with White Lightning underneath. You want to make sure that you get that off of your project, and then it kind of puts like this dulling sheen on it. It allows it to be able to paint on top of. The other thing too is when you're going to be using something and it is super shiny, if you want to, you could prime it, but I just went over my whole piece with a little sanding block. And so today, you guys know what's my favorite color? Buttercream. That is my favorite color. I love it. Hey Cheryl, good to see you're watching. So Dixie Belle chalk paint, it is mineral chalk paint. Here is all the instructions on it. You are welcome to, if you want any of the supplies, go ahead and put supplies in the comment. I do ship all over the US, so if you do not have a Dixie Belle retailer close to you that you can run to the store and go get these, I would be glad to ship to you. I always leave the little top on here, the cover, that just prolongs the life of the paint. And then if you're going to be using it back and forth, sometimes I do do an extra container, but today I'm just going to actually go right into my piece. I'm just getting some water. My little sprayer is not around. I don't know where it went. But this right here, this is the Dixie Belle's. This is the French tip. And it is designed to get into little nooks and crannies. And that's why I chose this one. And just go ahead and dip. And then you're going to kind of pounce and then swipe at the same time. So let me know how many of you have used Dixie Belle paint before, if you are familiar with chalk mineral paint. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them for you. Just message me too if you have something that is not pertaining to today. If you have questions, or if you like to flip furniture, that is one of my favorite things to do right now. I just got a patio set that is, I believe, from the 1940s. I will post pictures if you want me to. I had a good girlfriend. She was just like, Eileen, I don't want it anymore. It's gonna go to the dump. And I'm like, no, please don't. I will come and get it. So I picked it up and doing a little bit of research to find out where it's from, and I don't know where it's from, so I might have to post in a group or two to find out where it's from. But so this brush here, it's a really good detailing brush. I'm liking it. So the first coat of mineral chalk paint does not need to be perfect. In fact, I don't want to have full coverage on it. I just want a light coverage, and then the second coverage, second coat is when I will go back and do more of the opaque, making sure that this is well covered. So how you can tell the chalk paint is dry, it turns into a matte finish. It takes about, I think about 2 hours usually to be able to get a good, I would say 1 coat dry. And I am putting my fingers in the paint today, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So how many of you guys are, oh, newbie! Hey, Sue! Welcome. Welcome to Jane Nicole Designs. This is a place of crafty goodness. And I challenge myself. I really do not have a, I guess you'd say, style. Some gals are really into certain styles, whether it is primitive or a lot of like the Mackenzie style, the checkered and all that stuff. I'm anything. I don't know what I am. I know, Joy, you're watching. What do we call me? I think it's eclectic, I think, or something like that, where, you know, I see something and I love to have a challenge to duplicate it. So there's some things that I have that are very streamlined and modern, some things that are very eclectic. Some are farmhouse stuff. It doesn't matter. Hold on. There we go. Okay, and I do have some water here in a cup that I will just put my brush in for, just tap it off a little bit because it's looking a little dry. There we go. There we go. All right, and once you get your coat that you like, I don't know, I just picked this frame up at the thrift store. So I volunteer at a thrift store. So anything crafty that comes in, hey Christy, I get first, I call it first look. But let me just dry this really quick. Say, what am I looking on time? Oh, good. I've got 15 minutes. That's perfect. So I know you guys don't want to watch paint dry, so I'm gonna just set this off to the side, and you guys can see how it has, oh, there we go, on the side. You see how it does have some of the wood grain coming through. There's some dark spots, there's some light spots, and that is how you want your first coat to look. You do not want chalk paint just to go on super thick both times. You want to be able to get that first coat on, let it dry really nicely, and then that's where you go back in with the second coat and have a really nice second coat, and then it levels it out. So this chalk paint is self-leveling, so don't worry about it. I would, after this dries, I will take my little sanding brush, and I will actually, or it's a sanding pad, and I'll go over it, and then I will put a second coat on it. But for time's sake, we're just gonna let it dry for right now. There we go, and wipe my hands off again. Okay, so now we're gonna jump right back to those flowers that we I had already done this morning, because these right here are still gooey and wet. There's no way that I could do anything with them that you don't want to touch it for a while. So the next thing I'm going to use, this is Gilding Wax. This is from Dixie Belle. This gives it the sparkly goodness I love on a lot of my projects. You know, sometimes you just need, like, you paint something and it just needs a little sparkly goodness. this is it. I have thrown away all my Rub and Buff because the gilding wax here is the perfect alternative. It doesn't smell as horrid. There are many more uses. You can actually mix it with another gilding wax. Like here, if I wanted to mix it, this is zinc. Here we go. You can mix those together and make your own color. I just saw the other day that one gal, she took gold and silver and made like a champagne color. So, hey Teresa, hi Rhonda, hey Jackie. So my first name's Eileen. My page is called Jane Nicole Designs. It is both of my girls' middle names. So just to let you know that. I know a lot. I come to Jane. I don't know. I'm a twin, so I also come to other names. So I come to my sister's name, or, you know, just about anything like that. So I'm going to put on a glove today just because I don't want, if I touch anything with the gilding wax that is not part of my project, that I don't put the gold on there. But I just would love to show you. Here is that little pink flower. I want to give you guys, I've used my finger. That's why I was saying, okay, and just rub it back and forth. And then you can start to go in. Oh, this is so pretty. I don't know, how many of you are sparkle? I call them sparkle chicks, sparkle girls. And this is kind of, I would say, the more of the cottagecore style, where you can put old and new together. Kind of that granny core. I've heard it called that, grand millennial, where it's minimal, but then it's also got that vintage look in it, and that's me. I'm kind of lean towards that. But like I said, there's so many other things that I love to do, so I can't really pick. I don't know about you guys. Let me know, what style of crafter are you? Okay, look at this. Isn't it beautiful? It gives it a little bit of, I'd say, some gold shimmer on it. You could put glitter on it if you would like. I mean, that would be beautiful as well. So let's take this one here. This is this old dark flower. We're gonna go ahead and put this on here. And you can also use a paintbrush if you want to. It's just, it's how messy you want to get, I guess. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Super fun. Okay, I'm going to show you. Here is a leaf. And this one here, I'm going to kind of go on the outside. Just like that. Hey, Lori, how are you guys? Come on in and say hello. I say the more that you would put the gold on here, look at that, the more it will sparkle and add to your pieces. So you can do this or not. So Dixie Belle's gilding wax comes in quite a few different colors. There's bronze, there is gold, there is, oh goodness, there's silver. So like I said, if you want to know what the supplies, just put supplies in the comments and I will send you what I use, what supplies I used today. Look at this one. This one's got a little bit more brown in it. So I'm gonna do a little bit more gold on that part just so it sparkles. Aren't they fun, Joy? Can you imagine all of these on an ornament, or maybe on a tree if you did poinsettias? What if it would be a bouquet? I don't know. There's so many ways that you could use these. And that's why I love to be able to do projects like this. Hey, Sherry. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Oops. Oh, hold on. There is a piece of plaster. We do not want that. There we go. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I could just keep going, right? We would just keep going. Let's do, actually, I'm going to do the rose leaves. So isn't that beautiful? Look at, just in 2 seconds time. All right, let's do one of these. I'm just going to go right across the top. Be really gentle with these. There we go. And just look how the gold picks up the different seams and stuff like that. So it just depends on what you would like to do. And then the gilding wax will dry, and then it will become permanent. And I did have a little spot right there that the green came off, and so I'm just gonna put a little bit of gold up on the top. Oh, we're gonna do these little gems here. Just put a little bit of gold on them. And you can just keep going. I mean, this would be a really fun rainy day. Have you ever painted them? You know what, Gloria? I just did these this morning. This is the first time these are my test pieces. I have seen that you can do acrylic paint and dye the plaster. I have heard that you can, sorry, I've got stuff in here, chalk paint. After the plaster has cured, I would definitely wait, I would say at least 24 hours before you start doing that. But look at that, isn't that pretty? It just gives it another little dimension. Okay. All right, I could keep going, right? I know, these 45 minutes go super, super quick for me. All right, another one. Okay, we're gonna go back to our frame here. We have 8 minutes left, I do know that. So I wanna show you, I'm just gonna go ahead and take my French tip paint again. And I just wanted to show you how the second coat goes on, because it is amazing. We're gonna go just down one side and the other. And let's see, the top is here. So I just have a little string on the back. That was there when I bought it. So I'm just gonna be using that. That's why I love thrifting. Somebody already does it for you a lot of the times. Okay, I guess I'm gonna do three sides. So, because I think today I want my flowers to go to just kind of around the side here. I can see where I'm going here. So, and I'm almost like dry brushing it on. I want it to be textured. And that's why I'm using this brush here. I want it to go in and just give me some texture, that old look. And I will go back and put some gilding wax around the frame as well. There's just not enough time. It is what it is, right? Let me do a little bit of drying so you can see. Just like that. Okay, let me show you. Do you see how that is? I could do another coat if I wanted to, but I think I'm gonna like, this only has one on it, this has two. I think I'm gonna like a little bit of that to come through and just give it a little bit of texture. Okay, so let's scoot this off to the side. I'm gonna start layering. I'm gonna see how this goes. I just have my glue gun, and if you wanted to make this completely, I would say permanent, go ahead and do some E6000. But what I love about having these, that they sit, there we go. How I laid them down on the table is really perfect for the flat surfaces. So there we go. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I usually do the foundation first, so that's going to be some of these greenery pieces. Be a little generous because you want to make sure that it stays. And I have my heat tool on high. And I'm going to put, yep. So there's that flat spot. Remember we talked about the flat spot. I'm going to put the glue right there on that flat. Oh, that fits perfectly. How nice. Okay, now here, I'm going to take my little clippers here. These are just jewelry clippers. And I want to trim it off as much as I can. And if you so inclined, if you have a spot that you want it to be with that little flat indent or whatever, I kind of gave it a little bit of an indent on this side right there. So I'm going to snug that right there. Put a little bit of glue on the bottom here. There we go. Oh, this is looking, oh, so some of you that are really Victorian oriented, this is your jam. The Victorian rusticy, I wouldn't say rustic, Victorian, I guess. So it does have to wait for a hot moment or two. And I will put, see this part right here is where, yep, I think I want the smaller one. Oh, wrong tool. There we go. We'll just pop that one off. Oh, that's cute. Okay. Oop. There we go. Oh, this is looking so amazing. Okay. My flat part is right there. So I am going to, I think I'm going to put it up actually on this part right here. Let me get some more glue. Let's reset it. Hold on. Let's get my buttonhole back cutter. There we go. Sometimes I have several tools for one job. And you see how much glue I'm putting on here? I want to make sure that it does not fall off. Wouldn't that be embarrassing, huh? Hey, Linda, how are you, sister? It is wonderful to see you guys today. Let me know how your weather is. Today, I have clouds, but big white fluffy clouds and sunshine. And for Idaho in the springtime, that is amazing. All right, let me trim this off. And then I would say just keep layering. Start from the foundation up. My foundation was all of those. Let's do this way. Keep turning. Yep. My foundation is all of these little leaves and things like that. I actually don't want the whole piece on here. I think I will just snip. Oh, okay. I know you guys can't see it yet. Hold on. Let me make sure you can. Okay. And for time's sake, this is about all I get. But that is okay. I think I will finish it up and I will post some pictures. But look at this. Isn't this beautiful? How fun. I know, isn't it pretty? Thank you guys so much. Let me know if you guys would do this with Plaster of Paris, a little water and some florals. I will keep going. Go ahead and refresh this page and you get to watch the next crafter. But thank you so much for sprinkling. Thanks for hanging out. And if you want the supplies, go ahead and put in the comments supplies and I will send you the list. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.